lento yenzeka khona lapha endlini oyedwa wabo wenza lento khona lapha endlini uTumela benomthoko ayimfethu into engayisho nje yabona uTumela indlela ayizwana ngayo noSenzo wahleze ethi yena ngamfela uSenzo but ziningi izinto ezenzeka after uSenzo ashona lapha because uTuba bamthatha bamyisa enyangeni. I believe ukuthi awala uTuthu nje akuyena uDulo simbonayo uTumela ngempela wayezolikhuluma iqiniso.
Do you think that
esekhuluma ngalabantu manje lokho kwangidida ngiyacabanga ukuthi lento ngathi sizodinga upresident uzofanele ukuthi angenelele ngoba manje iboard yakhe kuthiwa yini icabinet yakhe manje umphakathi waseSouth Africa uzongayithembi ngoba manje uminister wayekade ethe labantu wayekade hambisana nathi yazi ukuthi ubani wenze lento uyazi naye uyazi lokho angifihla manje waqhamuka sethi labantu abawu5 kanjani angazi nominister khona abamsabisa ngayo mhlawumbe bamsabisa nga something angazi mhlawumbe khona abathi bazomenza yona angazi.
Yeah, ekuphatha kanjani?
I'm very strong because I believe in God. I'm a man of God and I don't fear anyone. Khona babe ngitshela ethweni bathi yeke le case yeke vele umfona ngasekho ngithi minayo wathatha ukuthi uJesafi ukuze thina sisindiswe nami ukuthi fanele ngife ukuze lecala livele kunjalo. I believe in God. I have a strong relationship with God. I don't fear any man even ngathiwa upresident uyini ipower ngisabi.
Ucabanga ukuthi laba ocabanga ukuthi yiba abayenzile lento bazoboshwa noma ucabanga ukuthi nje I never yenzakala lento?
Bazoboshwa sizozama ukwenza indlela ukuthi sikwazi ukudila nalamaphoyisa ukuthi so sizama ukuthi angifuna ukukhuluma kakhulu but sizokwenza indlela ukuthi sidile nalabantu ababophe abantu abangekho nokuthi kanjani ukuthi umuntu ewususpect kuleli cala kodwa aqhubeka investigate icase. Iloko sifuna ukudila nabo ukuthi fanele baphume labantu ngoba oyedwa wabo ususpect wakhipha something ku docket. I was expecting the court to release these 5 suspects because they are not involved. Not even one of them is involved. The police are just lying. They are making us I don't want to use a bad word.
Yeah.
But
Why do you say that?
because there is evidence. There's another docket that has evidence. But by there's a lot of dockets. Bias. Mina bangibheki. Bias.
Yeah.
There's evidence. Even no ministry has le team le yabo le team le bophela abantu. If akuvela ukuthi izocindezela icase ayizange ukuthi izosolve le case. Khona i-team ebikade isebenza icase eyayikhethe uMinister of Police ubheka icele ngo2018 or 19. Leyo team eyisebenza icase yathi sizobopha kwafakwa laba bafakwa uNational Commissioner uKhehla Sithole bafakwa yena. Wabuza uMinister wathi nina ningene kanjani la? Wathi hayi thina solekelela. Bangena idocket eyayiphethwe laba bacele seyizongena ecourt. Leyo inobufakazi bengempela isizobopha. Batshela ukuthi naba sebezobopha bangena bathi hayi sinabantu abazokwenza iconfession. Kwagijinywa kwathiwa kwayiwa ngazi koMaritzburg kwathiwa khona umuntu ozokwenza iconfession. Akekho kulapho. Kwathiwa khona umuntu owenza iconfession. Baningi abantu ababethi bazonza ama-confession kodwa abekho kulapho. Uzubona ukuthi amanga lawo amanga. They're making up this thing.
Hey Tada, we are back with another video. As you know that Sifiso Meyiwa has opened a case against Advocate Baloyi for defeating the ends of justice. But before I talk about that, I would like you to listen to an audio that was read out in court by Ujonas, an instruction by the late Advocate Mngomezulu. And in that audio, Sifiso Meyiwa dropped bombs, and we shall hear. Just listen.
My sister-in-law, Mandi Samkize, she was also present when the coffin was chosen. I would like to state that Mr. Evan Khoza told me that Senzo Meyiwa, my brother, was not shot by robbers. These were the actual words of Mr. Evan Khoza. There were no intruders that were shot that entered the house. Senzo was shot by mistake. There was a fight between Uzandi and her boyfriend. This is meaning that, okay, I interpreted it, but apparently it's being said in English again. This means that Senzo was never shot by the robbers, but he was shot by mistake, as there was a fight between Zandi and her boyfriend. I would like this matter to be investigated as to who told Mr. Evan Khoza, to be established as to who told Mr. Khoza this, as to what exactly happened in the house where my brother was killed.
Mr. Baloyi,
Yes,
he says what is contained in that statement
yes,
of Mr. Sifiso,
yes.
the brother to the late
Senzo me.
Senzo.
Yes.
That was the voice of the interpreter uJonas reading out the statement sika Sifisomiyiwe at an instruction ka Mngomezulu. Remember that Mngomezulu was the lawyer for accused number 1 before he passed away. But now, where does the statement by Sifisomiyiwe enter in this case here? It is important because now Sifisomiyiwe has opened a case against Baloyi, saying that Baloyi knowingly charged the innocent man for the crime that he did not commit. He makes reference to the telephone records of Ntanzi that have been read out in court by Baloyi. He's saying we are told that Ntanzi was in prison. However, his cell phone was moving all over Pretoria, passing some universities and some churches, but Ntanzi is held up in prison. So that clearly indicated that Ntanzi was not the one that was carrying that cell phone. So Sifisomiyiwe is clearly stating that Baloyi knows that what he's doing is wrong, but still is hell-bent at prosecuting the wrong man before court. The story of our charges being laid was broken by Upatisha Mashali, the mastermind. So she deserves some credit for her work, because the traditional media like the SABC, ENCA, and Newsroom Africa have not said anything about the story, but it should be a breaking news because this involves Advocate Baloyi. So big up to Patricia Mashali for breaking the story. So I'm going to play an audio, just a small clip from her channel where she explained how did this thing happened, and then she read some part of the statement. I'm going to play the audio and then you listen. Thereafter, we'll talk about it.
Yes, it's true. That is Sifiso who asked me to please publish that letter on my Facebook account, and he took a drastic step. He pressed charges against Advocate George Baloyi. So I'm going to read the letter to you, because this letter is actually an email. It was addressed to the different people that I'm going to mention here. So I'm going to read it to you now. It is in my WhatsApp, and this is what Sifiso shared with me and asked me to, after he submitted his complaints and opened the case against Baloyi, he asked me to publish this on my Facebook page. So it reads like this: Dear Honorable Ministers, Chief Justice, and NDPP, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to you in your capacities as follows. 1, Minister of Subs, Honorable Firoz Kakalia. 2, Minister of Justice, DOJ CD, Honorable Mamaloko Kubai. 3, NDPP, Advocate Lekua Mutibu. 4, Constitutional Court, Honorable Chief Justice Mandisa Mai. I kindly request your urgent attention to the following matter. Becky Temba Station, case 51 of 3/2026, fraud, corruption, perjury, and defeating the ends of justice. My name is Sifiso Miwa, older brother of the late Senzo Miwa, that got murdered on 26 October 2014. I write on behalf of the Miwa family and hereby humbly request intervention of national government and relevant institutions in ensuring the recently opened case against Advocate Baloyi, prosecutor, and his accomplices is treated with the urgency it deserves. Circumstantial evidence of defeating the ends of justice has been witnessed on national television as Prosecutor Baloyi continues submitting Mr. Ntanzi's accused number 2 cell phone records that were fraudulently manufactured by SAPS. Another separate case of fraud linked to this corrupted neighbor murder case was reported to IPID towards the end of 2025, but they are dragging their feet and is not keen to finalize a straightforward investigation. This raises more suspicions on allegations that IPID is infiltrated and captured by external forces. We request the NDPP to please rectify irregularities of previous head Advocate Shamila Batoy that contributed to how this case continue being prosecuted. These are prosecutor-led investigations. Hence, the SAPS is an accomplice in what is arguably one of the biggest cover-up matters ever seen in this country. On a number of occasions, Advocate Baloyi submitted accounts of Mr. Ntanzi's pinged cell phone records illustrating movements in various areas far from places of his detention while in holding cells, which is impossible after his cell phone was confiscated by police on the day of his arrest as part of the known procedure. Due to the sensitivity of this matter, I request the Honorable Minister, Professor Kakalia, to assist in ensuring this newly open docket is handled by competent senior SAPS officers in order to avoid more irregularities. Also because one of the suspects heading the Miwa murder case is Brigadier Kiminda. We request a senior investigation officer, please, and for the docket to be secured before it disappears as the norm in many instances in SAPS. There he says that he wants this docket to be allocated to senior members, especially because one of the SAPS.
Yep, that is Patricia Mashale explaining Gucci how things transpired, and Sifiso Miwa is actually not happy with the way that Baloyi has been conducting this trial, because it's clear that the 5 men before court were not the one that shot and unalived Senzo Miwa. In the audio that I played earlier, Ujonas read a statement by Sifiso Miwa where he says the 5 men before court are not the one that shot and unalived Senzo Miwa, and Baloyi knows it because there's a statement by Mngahlope where Hlope says he received a phone call from Tumela Madlala saying that Senzo Miwa was shot by Longotwala allegedly ngephutha. It happened when Senzo was trying to separate the fight between Uzandi Khumalo and Longotwala. Unfortunately, Longotwala was carrying a gun and the gun went off, and then Senzo was killed because of that. So that's the crux of the complaint ga Sifiso Miwa. He says Baloyi knows it, what these men did not shoot Senzo. He's saying that even the towers that are being read out in court, they indicate that the cell phone Ntanzi was being carried by someone else because Ntanzi was in prison. However, the cell phone was moving all over Pretoria, passing universities and churches. This shows that the cell phone was Petro Umuntu, most likely a policeman. And Ntanzi has told us that it is highly likely that it is Mabena, that is no more. So I think the director of the public prosecution should have suspended Advocate Baloyi, because the charges that were laid by Sifiso Miwa are quite severe and serious. They could land Baloyi in prison if he's found guilty. So the NPA, they should have suspended Baloyi and opened an internal investigation to see which Lama charges, do they have merit or they don't. But to me, it's clear that Baloyi did not conduct this trial in a manner consistent with the good prosecutor. Remember that the prosecutor is not there to prosecute to just find the accused guilty. He has to present all facts honestly. It's very important. He must present facts honestly, because as a prosecutor, you must have a person of high integrity. So Sifiso is saying Baloyi is being disingenuous here because he knows that the 5 men before court are innocent. We know for a fact that Baloyi knows it because he has been in this case from the beginning, Remember that even in the bail hearing, Ntanzi and Umusibia, it was Baloyi that was there. So Baloyi has been in this case from the beginning. So I do not know what he agenda le ayiphethe ukuthi avikele abolongotwala at all costs, because it's clear that olongotwala and all the guys that were in the house, they've got a case to answer. The others, let's say Abokeli Kumalo, Zandi, and Uma Kelly Kumalo, they've got a charge which is defeating the end of justice because they lied to the police. Remember that. Firstly, Uma Kelly Kumalo, she pointed out at a wrong man purposely. Remember, Uzamohle Mbatha is the first person to be arrested in relation to the shooting of Meyiwa. Wakhonjwa Uma Kelly Kumalo wathi uye ongena endlini that demanded phones and imali, knowing very well ukuthi akusiyena. How so? Because Uzamohle Mbatha used to come and wash imoto kaSenzo and Kelly Kumalo. So umndeni knew him very well, so they could not make a mistake and say uyongena endlini. Luckily for Mbatha, his alibi checked out, and it turns out that on the day that Senzo was shot, he was not even in Vosloorus, which is why the judge said the state has got no case and the charges were thrown out of court, and then Mbatha was released. Now Mbatha is suing the state for millions. I'm praying that he wins because he deserves it. So now, if the police and the state can make the mistake abayenza ngoZamohle Mbatha, it is possible that they are making the same mistake against Ntanzi, Ncube, Umapisa, Untuli, as well as accused number 1, which is Musibia. They could be making mistakes because the police did not do a proper investigation. We remember that Baba Absalom Zungu told us that Brigadier Kininda came to him and said, Baba Zungu, I'm going to offer you money and a trip overseas as long as you testify against accused number 1 and 2. Those were the allegations that were made by Baba Absalom Zungu. And Absalom Zungu further said that his son, Constable Zungu, told him that he only testified in court because he was promised a promotion within the SAPS. So you can clearly see that there's a lot of corruption that is going on in this case because people want money and promotion. So Brigadier Kininda and Advocate Baloyi should not have been part of this case up until this stage, because now it's clear that there were some irregularities that happened there. So those allegations made by Absalom Zungu and others, they need to be investigated. The same way as the allegations that were made by Sifiso Meyiwa against Advocate Baloyi, they need to be investigated thoroughly. I'm happy that she wrote the letter and sent it to the relevant stakeholders. Amongst the people that he sent the letter to was Ulo, police minister Ektayo, Faros Kacholi, and then he also sent the letter to the Minister of Justice, Mamalbo Kupai, and then as well as Chief Justice Lapa Constitutional Court, Mandisa Maya. And then also I sent out to the new NPA head, Advocate Motibi. But at the stage, Motibi has disappointed me because he held a press conference and said he has faith in Advocate Baloyi. He said that without even looking at the evidence that is before court. So it seems like the entire hierarchy in the NPA is just corrupt and useless. But I'm hoping that the Chief Justice, Mandisa Maya, will have a look at this case and then perhaps do something about this judge, because Judge Urata is clearly biased against the state because of the way he conducted his trial. Whenever they try and make sense with him, he just says, take me on appeal if you've got a problem. This shows that he has concluded that these guys are guilty. So we're just having this trial so that we can take it on appeal. Maybe that is when we'll get a fair justice for the Meyiwa family as well as the accused. So now Sifiso Meyiwa wrote this letter, and he mentioned a few things in this letter that I need to bring it to your attention. He says, the EFF Member of Parliament, of which is Leanne Mathis, mentioned at the Arrow Committee that she arrived at the crime scene after 11 p.m. and did not even see blood on the floor. after Senzo was shot. So now she also says that Leanne Matthews had an easy access to the house. Remember that at 11 p.m. that house was still a crime scene, but Leanne Matthews entered the house without any problem. She was not stopped by the police, meaning that there was an easy access to the crime scene, which is why I'm saying the crime scene was highly contaminated due to the fact that the police did not, I repeat, they did not cordon the crime scene. Remember that once someone has been shot and killed, the crime scene should be taken over by the police. They should put that yellow tape around the crime scene and make sure that no one enters. But Leanne Matthews, who is the member of EFF, said she entered the house without being stopped by anyone. So it's very important, which also mentions that the crime scene was contaminated. So the police did not do a proper investigation. And then Fisomiyo also says that approximately 10 witnesses have died since the case of Mayor began. He makes reference that Brigadier Ndlovu, who was the police officer that was against Docket 636, he was shot, he was poisoned and unalived because it was the cover-up for Docket 636. Brigadier Ndlovu was going to spill the beans in court if he was called and say Umosiya lied to the court about things that he did. Remember, Umosiya told the court that he arrived late at the crime scene because Brigadier Ndlovu gave him a wrong address. Unto was going to come to court and say Umosiya is lying because he's defending Docket 636. Brigadier Ndlovu was going to tell the court that the crime scene was compromised and also tell the court that the 5 men before court are innocent. But now, because Brigadier Ndlovu is no more, we cannot have the truth. And then Fisomiyo also mentions that the wife of Brigadier Ndlovu was also killed just months after her husband had died. The wife was shot when she was coming out of the mall by certain gunmen, and till today, nobody has been arrested. So Fisomiyo is concerned about that. More than 10 witnesses have lost their lives in this case. Remember, there's also Utawang Makeleni, as well as others. So there are many people that have died in this case, and Fisomiyo is worried about that. And then Fisomiyo also mentions that we also know that the police opened trumped-up cases against Detective Makubo because Makubo opened Docket 75 and the state was angry at Makubo. So he's saying Advocate Baloyi sidelined Makubo by ignoring his findings that were contained in Docket 75 and then chose to prosecute the wrong man. And Fisomiyo mentioned that ever since Makubo opened Docket 75, he has been threatened and harassed for years, and nobody has done anything about it. So Fisomiyo is just pleading for help from government as well as the judges there at the Constitutional Court, because they are the ones that can take decision that could lead to Judge Arasa's removal. I'm sure that the Judge President in the Gauteng Division will not remove Judge Arasa because they are parties. Even the one that was before him, Utatem Mlambo, was also a friend of Judge Arasa. So now it is up to Justice Maya to remove this judge because clearly he's biased. I'm very happy that Fisomiyo wrote this letter because now it shows that even the Mayor family can see that these guys before court are innocent and they have to be released, especially Ubu because Ntanzi has got no previous convictions and he's also got no other pending cases. We're told that Ntanzi has got a Nongoma case to answer, but he was never charged for that case. He never appeared in court. Remember that the person charged for that case, I think it's Nsilani Ptilis. He was found guilty when he appeared in that court, but Ntanzi was not charged. So it's only Ptilis that was charged for that matter and found guilty. So Ntanzi has got no any other cases to answer. He's just sitting in prison for a crime that he did not commit. And Advocate Baloyi knows it, but still he goes ahead and put him through hell for what? For protecting the likes of Longitwala and about Gladness Kumalo, Abo Zandi, and as well as all the gang members that were in the house when Senzo was shot on the day. But hopefully someone is going to listen to Senzo's letter, because it is very important. He's a family member. When he says something about the case, I think people in high places, they should move, because he's part of the family. The family deserve some respect from the public as well, from the court. So if they don't believe us, they should at least believe Usif Somio, because he's a family member. He's got some evidence, because he has been following this case from the beginning. He knows it from start to finish. So hopefully something will be done about this, because it is a matter of importance. Sezomia was the captain of Bafana Bafana and Orlando Pirates, so he deserves proper justice in this case. And we will not have justice if those people that were in the house are still roaming in the streets. We know for a fact that Umapiri came to that house and cleaned the crime scene, and Baloyi decided not to charge him. But Mapiri admitted that she cleaned the crime scene. Why was she not charged? Baloyi knows it, because he's got a docket. He knows everything. He saw the docket that was brought to him by Umakubu, but he has done nothing to the likes of Mapiri. But we shall see what will happen. Baloyi uyoqhubeka ngokubuza imibuzo ubunganitanzi, but he's not asking the right questions, because he knows that he's got no case.